is Valley News Live at 4.
Good evening, I'm Justin Betty. We are coming closer to the day when North Dakota's trigger ban will go into effect, making abortions illegal in the state. And today, the only abortion clinic in North Dakota is fighting back. Let's go live to Valley News Team's Aaron Walling, who is outside that clinic in Fargo with the latest. Aaron.
Thanks, Justin. Now, tensions are rising as the Red River Women's Clinic has filed a lawsuit to stop the ban of abortions here in North Dakota. The clinic's medical director claims that the trigger ban is unconstitutional and that the lawsuit also disputes the trigger ban's effective date. Now, the clinic has been making plans to move to Moorhead in Minnesota for quite some time now to continue their practice. A GoFundMe page was set up for the organization, and as of today, they have raised close to $940,000. The director of the clinic made a statement after the lawsuit was filed. Tammy Cronemaker said in part, "We will fight this draconian ban like the other outrageous bans and restrictions that came before it. In the meantime, we will keep our doors open to provide abortion care to patients who need us. Being the last remaining abortion clinic in the state, our patients already have to travel long distances just to reach us. Our patients deserve the right to access essential health care if and when they need it, regardless of zip code." Now, Justin, the trigger ban goes into effect on July 28th, and the North Dakota's Attorney General Drew Wrigley, well, he announced that the clinic has to be shut down on that date. Reporting live in downtown Fargo, Aaron Walling, Valley News Live.
All right, thanks, Aaron. This story is getting a lot of folks talking. You can join the conversation heading over to our Valley News Live Facebook page and comment on this story. The clinic at the center of the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade is now closed as of today. Jackson Women's Health Organization shut down as Mississippi's state trigger law went into effect. It was Mississippi's only abortion clinic. Now abortion is only legal in that state if the pregnant person's life is in danger or the pregnancy is caused by a rape and was reported to law enforcement as such. The clinic sued the state, citing a right to privacy in the state constitution. On Tuesday, a judge rejected that argument. Taking a look outside, storms may be on the horizon this evening. Let's go over to First Alert Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson for the details on the forecast. Hutch.
Justin, thanks so much. Good evening, everyone. And as we went through the afternoon, it did look like we would have some activity in a few areas, particularly to the south and east of the Fargo area. Right now, we have a few dark clouds out there. We've had a lot of clouds in Fargo and around the entire region. The main event here taking place along the I-29 corridor in eastern South Dakota. A few storms did try to form in Otter Tail County, Wilkin County, out towards Breckenridge and Mentador. Those storms are fizzling out right now, and the main event down there producing quite a bit of lightning. Here's the showers. Some more forming near you in Breckenridge and Wahpeton. Some lightning and non-severe weather is expected from tonight's round of storms. These storms have remained below severe criteria, but they sure are more intense and delivering another punch of rain and windy thunderstorms to areas hard hit just a couple of days ago. If we're going to see strong thunderstorms in our region, the best chance will be in central parts of North Dakota moving south. The heat is on as we head into the weekend. The heat and the humidity, these dew points, it'll be sultry like what they have in the Gulf Coast states. Notice that green sticky air working its way all the way up into our area. For Saturday and Sunday, it remains. Those conditions will fuel the risk for some severe storms this weekend. But for tonight, I expect more clouds and clear skies until the late overnight hours, Justin, then things quiet down just a bit. First alert weather day is still for Saturday and for Sunday. More details coming up on that in just a minute. It will not storm everywhere all weekend long, but we want you to be aware and have that app, the Valley News Live weather app, handy just in case.
Good idea. Thanks, Hutch. The Minnesota Department of Transportation is pleading for drivers to slow down and pay attention in work zones after you see here a semi rear-ended an MNDOT maintenance vehicle. Both vehicles heavily damaged in the crash. This happened on I-90 near Blue Earth, Minnesota. State Patrol says James Ratcliffe was driving the semi and ran into the MNDOT truck. He was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. The MNDOT driver was also taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. In a brief special meeting this morning, the Fargo School Board voted unanimously to approve the termination of Kevin Kennedy. This was the final step in the months-long investigation for inappropriate behavior by Kennedy. 5 board members were in attendance today. None opted for further discussion on the matter. It is now closed. The board also unanimously approved to discharge Kennedy. He will not receive any pay, any benefits as of his suspension date. That was back in early April. The district is also required to report Kennedy's discharge to the Education Standards and Practice Board. You can read this full investigation, the report on this case on our website, valleynewslive.com, or the VNL News app. Today, former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin was sentenced to 21 years behind bars for violating George Floyd's civil rights in May of 2020. Friends and family of Floyd had a chance to read victim impact statements in federal court ahead of that sentencing this morning. Chauvin is already serving more than 22 years for second-degree manslaughter, second-degree murder, and third-degree murder in the death of Floyd. The federal sentence will be served concurrently with those state charges. A new report on the school massacre in Uvalde, Texas, confirms police could have stopped it before 19 children and 2 teachers were killed. An active shooter training center run by Texas State University points to multiple occasions when officers had a chance to target the gunman at Robb Elementary School. Janet Shamlian has reaction to this latest report.
Stunning new information details missed opportunities Uvalde police had in preventing the Robb Elementary massacre. An officer armed with a rifle had the gunman in sight as the shooter approached the school building, but didn't fire. Instead, the report indicates the officer asked his supervisor for permission to shoot the suspect. The supervisor either did not hear or responded too late.
The use of force decisions always rest with the officer who's going to use the force. There was no requirement for that officer to ask for permission to shoot.
The report highlights another missed chance. The first officer arriving on the scene might have seen the gunman to prevent him from entering the building if he hadn't been driving so fast, or instead approached on foot. And the report concludes what many have believed, that based on current evidence, it is possible that some of the people who died could have been saved if they had received more rapid medical care.
We believe there should have been an entry at that as soon as you can.
The new information follows last week's emotional city council meeting.
This was not supposed to happen. You failed because you're not taking care of the city. They are 19 children dead, massacred.
A Texas legislative committee is also investigating and is expected to release its report soon. Janet Shamlian, CBS News.
The police chief of the Uvalde School District was put on leave following this announcement. District officials say they will wait until the shooting investigation is complete before making any final personnel decisions. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson is now officially stepping down after his own Conservative Party turned against him. Today, Johnson defended his record, said he was sad to be leaving what he considered the best job in the world. In recent months, Johnson was fined by police and criticized by the investigators' report for allowing rule-breaking parties, which were against COVID rules with the British lockdown. Johnson will remain in office until the replacement is found. Today, President Biden honored 17 Americans with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Their work touches on everything from world peace and politics to civil rights and the arts. The White House said the honorees demonstrate the power of possibilities and embody the soul of the nation. Skylar Henry has details from the White House.
A diverse group of Americans received the nation's highest civilian honor, the Presidential Medal of Freedom, at the White House Thursday.
An extraordinary group of Americans up here on this stage that I have the honor to recognize today.
The most recognizable honoree, gymnast Simone Biles, an advocate for mental health and sexual abuse victims.
Today, she adds to her medal count of 32. I know you're going to find room.
U.S. soccer champion Megan Rapinoe has recently been at the forefront of the battle for gender pay equity more than 4 decades after Wilma Vaught broke barriers as one of few women generals in the U.S. Armed Forces. New York nurse Sandra Lindsay was the first person in the U.S. to receive a COVID-19 vaccine, while Father Alexander Karloutsos of the Greek Orthodox Church has advised presidents. Those honored for their leadership on civil rights and social issues include Sister Simone Campbell, Fred Gray, Diane Nash, former Ambassador Raul Izaguirre, Julieta Garcia, and Gold Star Father Kazir Khan, an outspoken critic of former President Trump. The president also presented awards to previous congressional colleagues, former Wyoming Senator Alan Simpson and former Arizona Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords, an outspoken survivor of gun violence. 3 recipients, Apple co-founder Steve Jobs, labor leader Richard Trumka, and long-serving Arizona Senator John McCain received the award posthumously.
To the families, I know receiving this award on behalf of their loved one is bittersweet.
President Biden himself received the Medal of Freedom in 2017 while serving as vice president under former President Barack Obama. Skyler Henry, CBS News, the White House.
One notable recipient, actor Denzel Washington, could not attend today's ceremony because of a positive COVID test. The president said Washington will be honored at a later date. Family, friends, and fans gather to celebrate the life of a local race car driver today. Casey Arneson's race car sat outside Hope Lutheran Church in South Fargo. The rest of the parking lot, as you can see here, packed, much like the grandstands of a racetrack. Arneson died last week after a UTV crash in Becker County. The Red River Valley Fair kicks off tomorrow. Of course, some big names. The music industry will be performing there. Tim McGraw, Jason Derulo, Three Doors Down. The fair runs until the 17th. While many are planning to enjoy the fair and which nights they'll go, some say it's not possible for them to even get to the fair. Tonight on Valley News Live at 9 and 10, we'll hear from a man who says the lack of paratransit services is keeping him from enjoying the simple pleasures many take for granted. Happening now, a monthly gathering of car enthusiasts in Moorhead, and tonight is extra special. It's a live look at the Moorhead Center Mall. People are pulling up for cruise night. As always, there is food, music, plenty of cool cars to look at. It's just getting going now. At 6:30, Fix It Forward Ministry is giving away their 364th donated car to a veteran on the main stage. Great thing. We'll be checking that out in a couple hours. Still ahead on Valley News Live at 4, safe sleep recommendations for babies revised for the first time in 6 years. How experts are trying to keep unsafe products out of your home.
And temperatures cooler today thanks to a little bit of a north component to the wind. Still mild, in fact warmest to the south and east of Fargo. That's where we see just a few rumbles of thunderstorms taking place. Your forecast includes first alert weather days. Details next.